Listen to me. Life is not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you decide to raise up and rise strong. Every single one of you was built for more than survival. You were designed to conquer, to create, to inspire, and to lead. But you can't rise strong if you keep letting your circumstances define you. You rise when you define yourself. Talking to that person who's been holding their dream hostage because fear whispered, "We're not ready." I came to tell you today, you are ready. You've always been ready. You just have to raise up and decide that your moment starts now. Stop waiting for a perfect time. There is no perfect time. There's only a powerful decision. And that decision to rise will separate the talkers from the doers, the watchers from the winners, and the quitters from the conquerors. When life knocks you down, don't just get back up. Get up stronger, wiser, and more determined. Because the world doesn't need another average dreamer. The world needs a fighter, a believer, a mover who can look at adversity and say, "You will not stop me. I'm built for this." So today it's not about who hurt you, who left you, or what went wrong. It's about who you're becoming. Raise up and rise strong, because your story isn't over. It's just getting started. The power of decision is the birthplace of every transformation. Every great change in human history began with someone who made a decision. Not a wish, not a plan, not a half-hearted attempt, but a real solid, unshakable decision that they would not remain the same. You see, most people don't fail because they're weak or because they lack talent. They fail because they never fully decide. They live in a maybe. They live in a someday as a lie that robs you of today. The moment you decide, truly decide, you flip the switch from possibility to purpose, from hesitation to motion. When you make a decision, you separate yourself from the crowd, because the crowd waits. They wait for signs, for permission, for comfort. But the few, the powerful, the ones who rise strong, they decide. They don't need the stars to align. They align their spirit with their vision and move anyway. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Dreams without decisions are fantasies. But once you decide, you begin to turn the invisible into the visible. The power of decision changes the way you walk, talk, and think. It gives you clarity in chaos. When the world tells you to sit down, decision gives you the courage to stand tall. You can't rise strong if you're undecided about who you are and what you want. Every giant you'll ever face, doubt, failure, can be conquered the moment you decide to no longer bother. Decision is not about feeling brave. It's about committing even when you feel afraid. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage whispers, "I'll try again tomorrow." That whisper is a decision too. Think about it. The reason some people stay stuck is because they keep postponing the moment of choice. They say, "I'll start when I'm ready." But readiness is a myth. You will never be 100% ready. The conditions will never be perfect. But when you decide, your decision makes the conditions irrelevant. The world bends to the will of a committed mind. Every door that seemed closed starts to open because your decision changes your energy. And your energy changes your environment. When I talk about decision, I'm not talking about wishful thinking. I'm talking about burning the boats. When you decide, you don't keep a backup plan. You don't say, "If it doesn't work, I'll quit." No. When you decide, you cut off every escape route. You say, "This is it. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing." That's when your brain, your body, your soul align toward one purpose. That's when miracles happen. Because commitment is magnetic. It pulls resources, people, and opportunities towards you. The universe responds to a made-up mind. Look at every champion, every legend, every world changer. They all had that moment of decision. Martin Luther King decided he would not remain silent. Nelson Mandela decided he would not give up on freedom. Steve Jobs decided that innovation would be his legacy. Oprah decided she would rise above her circumstances. They weren't born great. They became great through decision. And once they decided, they never looked back. You have that same power. Inside you, there's a decision waiting to be made that can change everything. Maybe it's to start that business, to go back to school, to forgive yourself, to walk away from a toxic relationship, to believe again after being broken. Whatever it is, you already know it in your heart. You just haven't decided yet. And every day you delay, you give your power away. But the moment you decide, your power comes rushing back. Decision doesn't mean you'll have it easy. It doesn't mean you'll never doubt or struggle. But decision gives you direction. It gives your pain a purpose, your effort a focus, and your time a target. Decision turns chaos into clarity. You stop wandering and start building. You stop wishing and start working. Because decision removes confusion. Once you decide, you stop asking, should I? And start asking, how can I? That's a powerful shift. When you wake up every day undecided, you waste your energy on uncertainty. You doubt yourself, you second guess, you hesitate. And hesitation kills progress. But when you wake up decided, really decided, you move differently. You stop negotiating with excuses. You don't need motivation every morning because your mission fuels you. You've already chosen your direction, and now every action aligns with that choice. I want you to understand something. The world respects decision. The moment you decide, you begin to attract other decisive people. Leaders follow leader, not the uncertain. You will never lead while waiting for someone else to choose for you. You've got to decide to be the driver, not the passenger. Your destiny doesn't move until you do. Decision is the ignition key. You can have the most powerful engine, the best map, and the perfect weather. But until you turn that key, until you decide, you're going nowhere. Some of you have been praying for change, crying for change, begging for change, but you haven't decided to change. God, the universe, life, whatever you believe in, will meet you halfway. But first, you must decide to take the step. You can't walk into a new chapter holding on to indecision. The blessing you're asking for is waiting on your commitment. When you decide, fear loses its voice. You still feel it, but it no longer commands you. Decision builds momentum, and momentum silences doubt. Once you move, the fear starts to fade because progress gives you proof. You start seeing results, you start feeling power, and suddenly you realize you've always had what it takes. The only thing missing was your decision. So ask yourself right now, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for more time? You won't get it. Are you waiting for more confidence? It comes after decision, not before it. Are you waiting for someone to tell you it's okay? You may never hear it. The truth is, your moment begins when you decide it does. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. Nah, because every delay is a decision too. A decision to stay the same. You gotta decide that your dream matters more than your doubt. That your purpose matters more than your path. That your future matters more than your fear. Because the moment you decide, you take control. Life no longer happens to you, it happens through you. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop waiting for opportunity and start building it. You stop chasing approval and start chasing purpose. Decision is a declaration. It says, I am not my circumstances. I am my choices. You may not be able to control where you start, but you can decide where you finish. You may not control what people say about you, but you can decide what you believe about yourself. That's the power of decision. It gives you the pen to rewrite your story. There's someone out there right now who's living the life you dream of. Not because they're smarter or luckier, but because they decided to start when you hesitated. They decided to act when you analyzed. They decided to risk when you reasoned. The difference isn't talent, it's decision. The day you decide, you join that small group of people who make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. So right now, raise up. Make the decision that your past will not define your potential. Decide that you will no longer play small, that you will no longer hide your gift, that you will no longer waste your days waiting for one day. Decide that this is your day. Decide to rise strong, because strength isn't given, it's chosen. Power isn't inherited, it's decided. Every breakthrough begins with that one moment of decision when you say, I'm done settling, I'm done doubting, I'm done waiting, I'm ready. That's the moment everything changes. Not because the world gets easier, but because you get strong. You rise above the noise, the fear, the limitations, and you step into your power. When you walk out of indecision, you walk into destiny. Your choice is your creation. Your decision is your declaration. So don't waste another sunrise wondering if you can. Decide that you will. Don't wait for someone to choose you. Choose yourself. Because the greatest rise begins not with applause, not with luck, but with one powerful, fearless decision. I'm going to make it happen. So stand up, look at your reflection and say it. I decided to grow. I decide to fight. I decide to believe. I decide to rise. And once you decide, never look back. Because when a human being makes a real decision, Nothing on earth can stop them from rising strong. Unshakable belief. That's the foundation of every person who ever rose from nothing and created something extraordinary. Belief is not a soft word. It's not wishful thinking. It's power in motion. It's the force that keeps you moving when logic says stop. When you have unshakable belief, you become unstoppable because you no longer measure yourself by what you see, but by what you know deep within. You see, the world doesn't give you belief. It tests it. It will challenge you, question you, and sometimes laugh at you. But those with belief stand tall because they know that the greatest battles happen before the greatest breakthrough. Belief is that inner voice that whispers you can when everyone else says you can't. It's the fire that burns inside you when your circumstances are cold. When people doubt you, belief is your defense. When doors close, belief is your key. When storms rage, belief is your anchor. You can lose money, you can lose opportunities, you can even lose people. But if you keep your belief, you will always rise again. Because belief gives birth to resilience, and resilience brings results. You can't rise strong without belief. Every dream, every goal, every mission begins in the mind. Before you can do it, you have to believe it. That's the order of success. Faith first, evidence later. The problem with most people is that they wait for proof before they believe. They say, I believe it when I see it. But that's not how greatness works. Greatness says, I'll see it because I believe it. You have to carry faith when there's no proof. You have to trust your vision when no one else sees it. That's what separates those who make history from those who watch it. Belief is not about arrogance. It's about awareness. It's knowing that you were created with purpose and power. It's realizing that what's inside you is greater than what's against you. Unshakable belief doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you move forward, even when fear is present. It's a decision to trust your potential more than your problem. You may not have all the answers, but you have the ability to find them. That's what belief says. Well, I may not know how yet, but I know I will. Think about every person who made a mark in this world. They all had unshakable belief. When no one believed in their vision, they did. When people said impossible, they replied, watch me. They turned rejection into redirection, doubt into drive, and fear into fuel. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before he made the light bulb. Do you think he kept going because it was easy? No, he believed. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. He believed anyway. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. He believed anyway. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. She believed anyway. Belief turns critics into motivation and setbacks into setups. No, unshakable belief isn't built overnight. It's built through challenges, disappointments, and growth. Every time you fail but decide to try again, your belief grows roots. Every time you face fear but keep walking, your belief gets stronger. Every time you doubt yourself but still move forward, your belief becomes unshakable. Belief is not found in comfort. It's forged in fire. It's not about always knowing. It's about never giving up on what you know in your heart. And let me tell you something. People will doubt you. They'll call you crazy for believing in something bigger than your situation. But that's okay. They're supposed to doubt you. Their doubt is your opportunity to demonstrate your faith. You don't owe them proof. You owe yourself progress. The moment you start believing in yourself, truly believing, the world starts to shift because confidence is contagious. When you believe in yourself, you give others permission to believe in themselves too. Belief is energy. It changes how you show up. When you believe, you walk differently, talk differently, think differently. You start seeing solutions instead of problems. You see possibility where others see impossibility. You don't wait for doors to open. You build your own. That's the power of unshakable belief. It transforms your mindset, and your mindset transforms your reality. The truth is, every limitation begins in the mind. If you believe you can't, you won't. But if you believe you can, you'll find a way. Your belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You attract what you believe you deserve. That's why you must protect your belief at all costs. Don't let negative voices rent space in your head. Don't let doubt dictate your destiny. Surround yourself with people who speak life, not fear. Feed your faith every day through words, through action, through focus. When you face obstacles, your belief will be tested. Life will ask you, do you still believe? When the plan falls apart, when people walk away, when results don't show up, that's when belief is most important. Because belief is not proven in success, it's proven in struggle. When everything looks impossible, belief reminds you I've come too far to quit now. It's that voice that says, I didn't come this far just to come this far. It's that spark that refuses to die. Unshakable belief is not blind. It's bold. It sees the reality but focuses on the possibility. It acknowledges the mountain but keeps climbing anyway. It knows that faith without work is empty, but work without faith is powerless. You need both. You work hard, but you also believe hard. You push forward, but you also trust that what's meant for you will meet you when you keep showing up. There's something powerful that happens when you start believing in yourself. Your mind expands. You start to see opportunities that were always there, but hidden by doubt. You begin to recognize your own strength. You stop begging for validation because your belief becomes your validation. You stop competing with others because your belief teaches you that your lane is yours. You start to move with purpose. And that's when everything starts aligning. You must understand, belief is built daily. It's not a one-time declaration. It's a daily choice. Every morning, you have to choose belief over fear, faith over doubt, progress over perfection. Because your belief will determine your behavior, and your behavior will determine your breakthrough. When you believe you can, you'll take action even when it's uncomfortable. When you doubt you can, you'll hesitate and miss your moment. Your mind creates your movement. Let me make it plain. Your belief sets your boundaries. You'll never rise higher than what you believe is possible. If you believe you're average, you'll settle for average. If you believe you're capable of greatness, you'll chase greatness. That's why belief is more important than skill. Because belief pushes you to develop the skill. Belief pushes you to learn, to grow, to evolve. It's the seed that starts the process. Some of you are waiting for the world to believe in you before you start. But hear me, the world believes in those who believe in themselves. You want people to trust your dream? Show them your belief. When people see how convinced you are, they'll start to catch the vision. You don't need everyone's support. You just need your belief to be louder than their doubt. Because once you believe, the right people will find you. Belief is also about identity. It's about knowing who you are, even when the world tries to define you. You are not your mistakes, your failures, or your past. You are your potential. You are your persistence. You are your purpose. And belief keeps you connected to that truth. The world may forget your worth, but belief reminds you every single day you are enough. You are capable. You are chosen. When you build that kind of belief, no setback can destroy you. You may bend, but you won't break. You may stumble, but you'll always rise again. Because belief gives you bounce back power. It gives you the ability to keep moving forward, even when everything tells you to stop. And that's what rising strong is all about. It's about standing in your belief when everything around you shakes. There's going to be moments when your faith is all you have. No results, no applause, no clarity, just belief. But that's enough. Because belief creates momentum, and momentum creates miracles. Every champion has had that season of isolation, that season of struggle, that season where belief was the only thing keeping them alive. And they made it, not because it was easy, but because they refused to stop believing. So I'm asking you today, what do you believe? Do you believe you can rise? Do you believe your dream matters? Do you believe you were made for more? Because the way you answer that question will shape your entire life. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit your doubt. Start expanding your belief to match your destiny. The moment you build unshakable belief, life changes. Challenges become training. Failure becomes feedback. Delays become development. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as a vessel of purpose. You stop saying, why me? And start saying, try me. You stop waiting for signs and start becoming one. Unshakable belief is the armor that protects you from fear, the engine that drives you toward your goals, and the light that guides you through darkness. When you believe you are already halfway there, your belief creates the bridge from where you are to where you're meant to be. And when that belief becomes unshakable, when nothing can move it, you become unstoppable. So believe even when it's hard. Believe even when you're tired. Believe even when you're tired. Courage over comfort. That's the choice every successful person has had to make. It's easy to stay where it feels safe, to keep doing what's familiar, to live within the walls of what you already know. But nothing extraordinary grows in the soil of comfort. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it kills progress in the long run. You can't rise strong if you're always protecting your comfort zone. You can't discover your true strength until you're willing to be uncomfortable. Growth demands courage, and courage means doing it afraid. Comfort is the silent dream killer. It doesn't attack you. It doesn't scream. It simply lulls you into a sleep where your potential never wakes up. You say, I'll do it later, or I'm not ready. And before you know it, years have passed. Comfort convinces you that average is enough, that it's okay to settle, because at least you're not struggling. But deep down, you know that safety feels like prison when you're built for purpose. You weren't made to stay in the shallow end of life. You were built to dive deep, to risk, to rise. Courage, on the other hand, is uncomfortable. It's messy, it's uncertain, but it's the birthplace of everything great. Every time you choose courage, you expand your capacity. You stretch your limits. You unlock parts of yourself you never knew existed. Courage is not about the absence of fear. It's about moving forward despite it. You can feel afraid and still take the step. You can feel unsure and still make the decision. Courage is that whisper inside you saying, I don't know what's ahead, but I'll go anyway. When you choose courage over comfort, you're telling the world, I refuse to stay small. You're saying, I'm willing to feel the fear and do it anyway. Most people wait for confidence before they act. But confidence doesn't come before action, comes after it. You build confidence by doing the things that scare you, grow strong by facing what makes you weak. Courage is the bridge between who you are now and who you're meant to be. Think about it. Every breakthrough in history came from someone who chose courage over comfort. Every invention, every movement, every transformation started with a person who was willing to leave the familiar and walk into the unknown. They didn't have guarantees. They had guts. They didn't have comfort. They had conviction. And because they were bold enough to take that step, they changed their lives. And sometimes the world. Comfort is predictable. Courage is powerful. When you live in comfort, you control your environment. You know what's coming next. But in courage, you surrender that control to gain something greater. Growth? You learn more from the unknown than you ever will from what's familiar. The unknown is where you discover your limits and then break them. It's where fear meets faith and fear loses. It's where you stop existing and start truly living. Let me tell you something. Courage doesn't always look loud. It's not always about grand gestures or huge risks. Sometimes courage is quiet. It's getting out of bed after a hard day. It's trying again after fail. It's saying no when everyone expects you to say yes. It's walking away from something that no longer serves you. Courage is being honest with yourself. It's facing the truth, even when it hurts. It's saying I deserve more and doing what it takes to get it. Comfort will give you excuses. Courage will give you evidence. Comfort says, oh, what if it doesn't work? Courage says, oh, what if it does? Comfort says, oh, you failed before. Courage says, that's exactly why you win this time. Comfort says, stay here, it's safe. Courage says, and move forward. The word's worth it. Every time you choose courage, you rewrite your story. You trade fear for faith and doubt for destiny. And yes, courage comes with pain, with risk, with uncertainty, but it also brings freedom. Because nothing changes you more than comfort. The moment you get too comfortable, life stops moving. You stop evolving. You stop growing. You start existing instead of living. That's why people who rise strong are never the ones who play it safe. They're the ones who step out, fail, learn, and keep going. Because they understand that comfort might protect you from pain, but it will also protect you from progress. Courage is not a one-time act. It's a daily choice. Every single day, life will give you two doors. One labeled to comfort, the other labeled to courage. And the path you choose determines your destiny. Comfort gives you temporary relief. Courage gives you permanent growth. Comfort keeps you where you are. Courage takes you where you belong. You can't have both. You must choose. Choosing courage over comfort means saying yes to discomfort, yes to uncertainty, yes to being stretched. You're saying, I'm okay not knowing how it will all work out, but I'm trusting that it will. It's understanding that your destiny won't show up at your doorstep. You have to go meet it. And the journey there will challenge you, test you, and sometimes even scare. It's how you rise when you choose courage, even when comfort calls your name. Sometimes courage means letting go of habits, people, or places that no longer fit your growth. You can't take everyone with you when you rise. Some people are attached to your old version. not your new vision. Courage means loving yourself enough to move forward, even if it means walking alone. Comfort clings to familiarity. Courage clings to faith. And when you choose courage, you realize that solitude is not loneliness. It's strength in disguise. Courage also demands vulnerability. You can't rise strong behind the mask. You gotta be real. Real with yourself, real with your journey, real with your struggle. Because courage thrives in authenticity. When you hide behind perfection, you protect your ego but lose your evolution. But when you open up, when you show up imperfect but willing, you give yourself permission to grow. The truth is, courage will never feel comfortable. It will stretch your limits, make your heart race, and sometimes make you question your sanity. But that's how you know you're growing. Every time you feel fear, it means you're standing at the border between your old self and your new one. And if you could just take one more step, just one more, you'll break through. It's not the size of the step that matters, it's the direction. Every small act of courage compounds. Every uncomfortable decision builds momentum. Every risk you take adds a new layer of strength. You don't become brave overnight. You become brave one choice at a time. Every day you choose courage, you build the muscle of resilience. And one day, the things that used to scare you won't anymore. The people who achieve greatness aren't fearless. They just refuse to be ruled by fear. They've learned to use fear as fuel. They've learned that being comfortable is part of becoming unstoppable. They've learned that courage is not a moment, it's a mindset. Once you adopt that mindset, your life transforms. You stop waiting for confidence, for permission, for guarantees. You stop seeking approval. You simply act. You move. You believe. And that's when you rise strong. Every time you face a choice between courage and comfort, remember this. Comfort keeps you the same. Courage makes you better. Comfort keeps you grounded. Courage gives you wings. Comfort is predictable. Courage is powerful. Comfort whispers, stay safe. Courage shouts, go live. Your comfort zone is where dreams go to die, but courage is where they come alive. If you want to see what you're truly capable of, step into discomfort. Volunteer for the challenge. Sign up for the hard thing. Speak when you're afraid. Show up when you feel unqualified. Do it before you're ready. Because if you only do what's easy, you'll always stay the same. The hardest road will always lead to the highest mountain. And at the top of that mountain, you'll realize courage didn't just change your life, it changed you. Courage over comfort means betting on yourself. It means believing that your potential is worth the risk. It means knowing that failure is not the end. It's feedback. It's redirection. It's preparation for something greater. The people who live full lives are not the ones who played it safe. They're the ones who said, I'd rather fail chasing purpose than succeed staying comfortable. One day you'll look back at all the moments that scared you, the leaps you took, the times you almost quit but did. And you'll realize that those were the moments that shaped you. Not the easy days, not the comfortable choices, but the courageous ones. Because every strong person you admire was once a scared person who decided to act anyway. So today, make the decision. Don't let comfort control your life. Don't let fear write your story. Choose courage. Choose growth. Choose the unknown. Because courage is where your power lives. Courage is where your purpose grows. Courage is where your greatness is born. And when you keep choosing courage over comfort every single day, you rise higher. You'll rise higher than you ever thought possible. When life hits hard, when the weight of disappointment feels unbearable, most people think that's the end of their story. But that's the exact moment when true strength is born. You see, strength isn't built when everything is going right. It's forged in the fire of adversity. The fourth keynote of find power and perseverance is about that unbreakable spirit that refuses to quit no matter how tough the storm gets. Perseverance isn't about moving fast. It's about refusing to stop. It's about continuing even when your legs are trembling. Your heart is heavy and your mind whispers that you can't take another step. That's when you have to look within yourself and find that quiet, fierce voice that says, keep going. Eric Thomas often says, you can't be great if you quit every time it gets hard. That's the essence of perseverance, staying the course when others walk away. Life will test you. It will throw you down, doubt you, and drain you. But it will also give you a choice. Stay down or rise stronger. The people who win in life aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. Every setback, every failure, every closed door is just a lesson designed to make you tougher, wiser, and hungrier. Perseverance transforms weakness into strength and obstacles into opportunity. There's a reason diamonds are so valuable. They're created under extreme pressure. The same applies to human greatness. Without pressure, there is no polish. Without resistance, there is no power. So when you face opposition, understand that it's part of your growth. The pressure you feel today is building the foundation for the success